I wonder what you're seeing out there with in when you're talking to guys that are still in it and doing that job, what their challenges are. And I'm not doing this to rehash or re-talk about, the challenges that exist with hiring, with putting butts in the seats, and with the millennial generation that's now aging up, and now we're getting into some of this newer generation of folks. But my specific question is just about what are we seeing in terms of practices going on out there that are being successful for people that were the same practices that you were using, 25 years ago, or maybe not so 20 years ago, that still hold tried and true? Like the game really hasn't changed that much, or has it? And so that's kind of a large question, but I'm wondering if you can answer it for me, because I know you're super connected still.
Yeah. I think the term, and you used it, right? Like calling it community policing. Man, we were calling it community policing when I started, even when I was reserve in the mid 90s, like, the bosses were like, yeah, just get out in the community and go talk to people and get out of the car, go walk around. And we did. And it was community policing. I think now, though, the bosses want you to talk longer to people. This term de-escalation of talking, and that's what a lot of guys see it as, is, well, I have to talk to them longer. In some cases you can, you know what I mean? I think that's the big one. And listening to what guys are saying, they're like, well, they want us, the term is, or what they'll say is, they want us to talk them to death. And I'm like, okay, if I can talk to a dude, what's 5 or 10 more minutes? Now, sometimes we know, hey, that just doesn't, I could talk to this person until I'm blue in the face, and they're not going to change their attitude. Right. You're just not going to. And then it turns into the, I've asked you, I've told you, and now I'm going to make you. I understand that, but I think people want us to talk more. And what I'm hearing is that, and what I saw towards the end of my career, that's what they really wanted. Well, we want you to talk to them a little bit longer. Okay. And again, cops are like, well, what's the time frame? I'm like, dude, it's not a time frame. Like, you should know what's about to happen. But
okay, so I'm going to pause you here for a second. So I want you to talk to them longer. What do you want me to talk to them about? Is the question that I would have. And I think this is the one that people they don't understand. Like they don't get it. I think it's officers that don't, like, you're telling them to talk to them longer. What am I supposed to be talking to them about? I'm not quite sure. Like, this person's just getting more heated, or we're in the exact same places when we started, kind of thing. Or on occasion, talking to them longer may be helpful, as you stated. But what are we supposed to be talking to them about? That's the question that I have, because I see some of those conversations. I've been involved in some of those conversations. I'm like, why are we still talking about this? Like, we're talking about the same stuff we were talking about 2 years ago to the same freaking person, right? And nothing has changed. So that's my question. What are we supposed to be talking to them about for longer?
I think they want them to talk longer because they're, again, this is my 0.02 cents. I've been out a year, but still talking to guys and guys that are in it. And even when I was there a year ago, they want you to talk longer so they can say, the admin specifically can say, well, hey, he talked to him for 45 minutes. And then this is where we ended up. Instead of saying 15 minutes into it, exactly what you said, hey, from 15 minutes to 45 minutes. So that 30 minutes that I talked to this person, it was going to end this way. What they want you to be able, this is my opinion, what they want you to be able to say is, well, I talked to him for 30 minutes. He, as the suspect or the person I was dealing with, had all of that time to just do what I was asking him to do. Instead of, well, you forced him into the cuffs, or you forced this use of force situation, which, it created it to where you had to, use force or taser them or whatever. That's my opinion. I may be wrong, but that's what I saw, and that's what I still hear from a lot of guys across the country.
So I've kind of heard the same, when I ask this question, and I try to be very fair and objective in asking people that are retired and did it for a long time, that are near retirement, that are people in the middle, wherever they are in their journey, and then put people, folks that are at the front end of it. And I have a unique opportunity to do that. I'm very grateful for that, because, for me, I'm always trying to pull all the pieces together and get where the different levels lie in this. And here's what I get by that. I think when you're the talking and the like, I should be able to solve this problem with words kind of or through the talk kind of mentality creates all kinds of situations that I don't know that the younger officer or, you know, particularly the public doesn't understand what that's doing in terms of potentially creating a worse situation. And then you have the other side of it was, well, oh my God, that was so aggressive. They went immediately to a use of force and handcuffs in too fast of a time. So what is the right time and how do you make those decisions? And when you're constantly worried about solving the conversation for however long it takes, 30 to 45 minutes. I mean, that just seems like ridiculous amount of time to me. Like, I'm here for a reason.
It is a lot.
We should be able to resolve this, right? And whatever it is, either it's resolved and everybody's calmed down and we're walking away. There's not a violation of the law, right? There's no danger to anybody, including the person that I'm talking to or whatever else. Like, let's be on our way. We might actually know I'll be back here in 10 minutes or I'll be back here in an hour kind of thing. But there's no reason for me to stick around here any longer. There's no conversation to be had, but there's also no law that's been broken here. But what it creates then is like, I'll just talk longer, which then creates this hesitation to want to do anything. I feel like the longer you're in that conversation and the longer it gets to wherever it's getting to. And that could be an up, a down, a back up again, a back down. It creates a worse opportunity for when the use of force has to happen for it to be bad. And so you created, 100%. You put all this time into the equation here where bad things can happen. And we could go down a laundry list of what those things are. But I see this as being problematic for today's young officer coming out and then going into a situation with an FTO where an FTO has been told, we need to do a better job at talking to people longer. And so he's trying to get this FTO to talk to, or this new officer to talk to people longer. But that person knows damn well, this is not going in the right direction here. And at some point, somebody's going to have to do something. And you want the officer to be able to make that position, but you've also set them up for failure saying, hey, basically, you need to talk this person out of this situation. And so ultimately, then it has to be multiple people need to get involved in this, and the FTO has to step in and basically contradict almost, I would assume, have to contradict what they just told that person or just told that new officer. Like now I have to jump in and I have to take hold here. And so there's confliction going on with regard to how we're training people and how we're actually handling law enforcement on the street. And then what I think that evolves into that hesitation is like, I'm just not going to address that.